Greetings, my fellow YouTubers. This here's the Big D once more, and today I thought I'd do a list of another 5 game shows that need a reboot. If you've already seen my first one, I talked about some that need to be rebooted. Ever since I've been hearing about the return of Card Sharks and Press Your Luck coming to the Alphabet Network next month. I'll be checking them out as long as they keep them close to being true to the classics. I'm sure Press Your Luck will. I'm not sure about Card Sharks though. But anyway, here's another 5 game shows I feel that they need a reboot of. First up is Concentration. That's a game where you have to guess a rebus puzzle once you remove these little doors that might have a strange name of a character or what have you, or even a prize behind it. Now, I'm more familiar with the 1987 to 1991 series Classic Concentration, hosted by Alex Trebek. Of course, this was his other long-running game aside from Jeopardy. And of course, 2 players go against each other to possibly guess it while trying to match 2 cards to get a prize, or sometimes maybe a take, which can actually take that one contestant can take one of the other contestants' prizes and give it to themselves. There's also wild cards, which they can use to get whatever they want, and then they'll show where the other one is in case they never found it, which is pretty cool. And then after winning, they go on to play a game to win a car. There were 15 numbered boxes, and they had to pick about all of them. Only one didn't match any. But on the final match, they would win the car, because they had lots of them. I think if they did do Concentration again, I think they should do it like this game, this version. Now, I found out the game's actually back on the Diginet buzzer after it's never been seen on the tube ever since it left its home at the Peacock Network in 1991. Not even GSN's even aired this, and that's kind of a little, I don't know, considering they aired other game shows from the Mark Goodson vault. Oh well. Next up is a game I had my original top 5, but now I thought it would be best to throw it into this one, Bullseye. Now, this game was produced by Jack Barry and Danny and Wright, who actually originally produced Concentration before Goodson even did Classic Concentration. Anyway, this premiered in syndication in 1980, was hosted by Jim Lang, who was the man behind the hosting duties of the original dating game. The game was played similar to Tic-Tac-Toe and Joker's Wild, where 2 contestants have to answer questions. Now, there are 3 windows with spinning swirls going until they press their buzzer, and there's different categories, so with a different amount of money, so they had to pick one of those 2, and the third one would have the number of questions in the form of a contract. There's also a bullseye, which can mean you can answer as many questions as you want. Once that person gets to 2,000 and cashes it and puts it into their bank, they win and go into the bonus game called Bonus Island. Behind the 3 windows now are various amounts of money and bullseyes. Now, the goal was to get through 10 spins or less in order to get them. They had to stop the spinning wheels with the plunger, I call it. That's kind of like the buzzing thing. And if they get a certain amount of money, it'll be added to their score. If they can get a bullseye in 1 or 2, they can tell them to freeze those, and then in the hopes of going for a second or a third one. If you had gotten 1, you go for a second, third, or if you got 2 already, you go for a third one. If you get 3 bullseyes, they double the amount of money you've already accumulated, and you win a big prize package. But a word of warning, behind one of the windows is lightning. Yeah, don't want lightning to strike. Should lightning strike, similar to the devil in Joker's Wild and Tic-Tac-Doe's Dragon, your game is over if lightning strikes. I think this should be good to reboot, but keep civilians on for most of this here run. The second season had mostly celebrities and it was changed to Celebrity Bullseye. It was okay, but just... The next game is Supermarket Sweep. I know this was big, I think, in the 60s, I believe. But most people mostly remember the 90s and the 2000s version hosted by David Ruprecht, who appeared in lots of TV commercials and even TV shows like Small Wonder and Punky Brewster, but he's appeared in lots of others. I don't know how many, but I've seen his credits. But that's just due to my sources. Don't worry, I'm not trying to get any trouble with these people or anything, okay, people? And that's a game where you can run through a supermarket. You answer questions based on grocery items and what have you to gain time for your team till they finally go to the round robin game, which is where you can get up to more time before you go to the big sweep. And all three teams will rush their way through the aisles. Anything they want to get, like baby care products to meats, whatever. They can also get for extra $100 coffee and candy, and there's also bonus items around, big inflatable items, which can be worth up to $250, which that's the amount for a super bonus. Whoever wins with the most amount of money in their groceries will go into the final round to win $5,000. They have a minute to find 3 different items. David first gives them the first clue, and they find the first one. Then try to find the second one, then read the clue on that, and then go for the third one. And be fast about it, because your hands have to be on the money before the time runs out. It's still a good game. I read somewhere it might get a possible reboot. We don't know yet, but I'm sure it will. Next up is Sale of the Century. Yes, now this is a game that also is aired on Buzzer. Supermarket Sweep is as well. But anyway, Sale of the Century, it is a pretty cool game. It's also kind of got a quiz show type feel. But also it's kind of like The Price is Right almost. Except if you really want a product that's, well, kind of really cheap than the actual price of a big item, where if it's for home or a trip or what have you, where if it's $5, $10, or $15 of your money, you want it, you buzz in, and you'll get it. Sometimes that person might be in the lead, though. They also have other types of mini games once during the quiz game, like the Fame game, where you have to guess a popular celebrity or person in pop culture. Lots of other things. Then there's a speed round where you have a minute to guess to answer as many questions as you can, and if you win, you go on to the final round where you get to, well, tell you what money you've got to get all sorts of prizes. But if you want to keep going, you can, and return on the next show. That game was hosted by Jim Perry, whom we lost a few years back, and he was the host of the original Card Sharks before this. There was also a short-lived game in the late 2000s called Temptation. I've only seen a tiny bit of it, and I don't know. I didn't realize it was like Sale of the Century, but if Sale of the Century gets rebooted, keep that title and keep it true to the actual version we know. Now for the big one, Jackpot. It originally started in 1974, but I'm more familiar with the 80s incarnations. Most notably, the 1985 to 1988 series that originally aired in Canada, but it got aired on USA, hosted by Mike Darrow. Now, the original version aired in network television on the Peacock Network, and also there was a 1989 version, which both were hosted by Jeff Edwards, whom we sadly lost a few years back too. It's a game where we answer riddles in the hopes of winning a jackpot. Now, there are 15 contestants. One of them will be either the King of the Hill or the Queen of the Hill. And all they have to do is pick one contestant that might have a certain amount of money, and they'll be added to their score in the hopes of possibly reaching the target number. They can even play for the jackpot reel if they encounter that if someone yells jackpot, and if you don't want to go for it, just let them sit down and wait until you're ready for it. They also have a prize reel, which could be something good. But now, of course, if somebody doesn't get the answer right or just can't get a guess, then they have to go back to the 15 contestants row, and then get ready for a new King of the Hill or Queen of the Hill. But anyway, see how now if they match the target number on the amount of money they've gotten so far, they will end up going for the super jackpot, which is worth a lot. Now, how it play is, like, when they pick a contestant number, they'll stand up and say, for whatever amount of money this is worth, this is my reel. Now, they'll say it, and then sometimes the host will repeat it just in case. But anyway, I loved Jackpot. This was probably one of the funnest games I have ever known. Easily probably one of the most underrated games there ever was. If this ever gets rebooted, I would love to see it. There actually was to be a 1984 version for the iNetwork with funny guy Nipsey Russell hosting, but unfortunately it never made it. There is a video for the pilot. I think it's still on there, but I don't know. Anyway, I think Jackpot would be worth a reboot. Do you agree with my picks? Or do you have any other game show that might want to reboot? Please feel free to leave me a comment. Like this video and subscribe. And thanks for watching. I'm the Big D saying see ya.